So good morning everyone. It's Sunday, February 6th, and it's kind of a brisk morning, but it's, you know, in zone 9 I think spring is here, even though we don't officially hit it for another 6 weeks or so. I'll just give you a quick tour of what I've been doing in the garden so far. As you can see, this is the whole line of irises. Kind of thought I would do a whole line of bulbs all the way through down the kind of the brick line, and the irises look really strong, seem to be coming up really well. Sorry about my shadow. I've got a little bit of wire put down, you can see that, hopefully to kind of trip the dog up, because once the stems shoot up for the flowers, I don't want him running through. I also decided to expand this bed. This was kind of an oval shaped bed. It'll just be easier with the drip lines to have a rectangular bed, and I think aesthetically it's much nicer as we sort of step back and look at it. There's kind of a nice symmetry because I had the gardener come. We actually fenced this area off and started working, and then he helped do some of the digging. So now you can see the plot that's going to be the kind of the larger flower bed. So the sun is on the opposite side. This is west. So we should be getting some really good afternoon sun here. We also worked on the sprinklers. I'm going to step in and sort of put in a double manifold with some shut-off valves there. And then there's a second one back there. So the idea is that I'll have soaker hoses running this whole line, and then have this brick pathway in the middle, so I can harvest both from inside the fence and outside the fence. And it keeps the dog out, which is really the only reason I had to put this kind of snow fencing up. These are the blueberries. And then this is the bed that has the ranunculus and the freesias and some narcissus or daffodils. I'm going to step out of the sun, so hopefully you can see it a little better. So that sort of goes down, tapers off. I have a little bee balm here. Kind of see it poking through. This is a hibiscus. I'm not sure if it's going to make it, and I just planted some celery just to have some greenery, and we harvest the leaves. So the ranunculus are doing really great. It kind of, those are the big green leaves. They almost look like celery tips, don't they? And you can see the daffodils are coming up strong. So these are brand new bulbs. They're all of this. So, you know, the first year growth is always very strong. I've cut down the salvia. This will become there'll probably be a trellis that goes from this edge down the length and or across, kind of fenced up but open on this side. And I want to do my beans and cucumbers on them. I'm walking through between the shed and the house to show you the compost trench. It's been about 3 months of putting things in, and I do occasionally come and dig it up and mix it up a bit and get soil from here, and it's doing really well. I've been using it as I plant new things around the house. And I did plant 2 roses. This is Rose Grandiflora Pink Parfait, and it should be great for cutting depending on how it does here. This is a very high sun zone for us, so as long as it gets water from the drip line, it should be doing fine. And another rose is Chicago Peace. You can see it, it's just a hybrid tea, also good for cut flowers. So kind of experimenting with them to see how these go. Today I'm getting ready to plant some anemones. I have a whole box of them. I soaked these anemone bulbs or corms last night. There's 50. It's just a mixed collection of colors. This is sort of the color collection on the anemones. So and then I'm also getting ready to plant some asparagus. There's 3 rootstock. The thing I like about asparagus is it takes a while to actually get the stems, but once the stems are done, you can really use the ferns for flower arrangements. So here I am along the side yard bed. I've had a chance to clean up all the growth, drop in the irrigation, and waiting to plant. Had to get some fencing to keep the dog out. Not sure how well it'll work. And I have some pea plants in all along this fence. There's little peas, hopefully, that will make it through the spring before the heat comes. The oranges are aplenty. And then this is the new bed that I had worked on this month. I took it from an oval to rectangular and decided to move the pot in the middle. It's aloe and it has these tall blooms, these kind of stem things. And each one of these will last 3 to 4 months. They just get taller and taller, and the hummingbirds love to come and sort of drink from them. And I thought this would be great because they wouldn't be disturbed by being close to the house. The tulips are getting ready, I think. These are some really early tulips. They were these purple parrot tulips from a regular hardware store, and they're pretty short. So this will be something to learn a bit more about as I go through multiple years of tulips. Other than that, the biggest change is this part of the cut flower garden. I'm going to step back. That's an apple tree there. This one might have a fig, and then you'll see an olive tree in the back. I've got most of the irrigation laid out. If you can see the little white tabs, those are the dahlias. There's about 14 or 15 plants in here. These are peonies. It's hard to see, but you can see this really little red stalk coming up. And I've grown these before in colder climates, so we'll see how well it does here. But this bed seems to be working out well. At least the snow fencing is working out well in terms of keeping the dog out. Lots of blossoms on the blueberries. So this is our front yard, and I'm just starting this transition to remove half the lawn and convert the bottom half along this whole length to perennials. I sort of started with a couple here. That's bottle brush and heavenly bamboo. And I transplanted all the Maximilian perennial sunflowers to this bed. So this is it looking sort of backward. The idea is to create a privacy screen and a lot of green plants. The Mexican salvia down there I transplanted from the back to the front. It's got a pretty large habit. There's a couple of tiny hydrangea. You can see that. And this one's even tinier because somebody stepped on it. So I'm not really sure if it's going to make it, but we'll see. A couple of tiny hydrangea. The bulbs are coming along. A lot of iris are blooming. The front are a little ahead of the ones in the back. The freesias are almost there. You can see these blooms. Looks like that one might have a yellow to it. So yeah, I might kind of have some fun this summer and spring converting half this lawn to perennial green space. And this is the driveway bed. It's very rare to catch this bed in shade. Sun seems to be on it most of the day. The narcissus have come up. The first little lonely ranunculus is there. And I think it's, coming along. I definitely, as I look at this bed, I would like to think about what I might add to it this fall to fill it up a bit more. There's a few gaps in there. So here we are on February 22nd, and we just had a hail event here in Zone 9B. See a little bit of hail on this chair. And a lot of hail on the beds. So unusual for us in California. The tulips are blooming and getting hit by hail. So I leave you with a 360 of Mount Diablo, one of the high points here in the Bay Area. It's 3,900 feet elevation. See you guys next month, and happy gardening.